Alright, let me walk you through what just went down and why this isn't just some TV host got canceled. This might be a turning point in how broadcast media deals with political speech and regulatory power. Strap in. On September 16, 2025, Jimmy Kimmel, during his monologue on Jimmy Kimmel Live, criticized what he called attempts by the MAGA gang to politicize the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Kimmel claimed people on the right were trying to portray the alleged shooter as anything other than one of them to score political points. The attacker had been arrested. The family said he had adopted leftist views recently, so there was contention about what Kimmel was implying. FCC Chair Brendan Carr then warned ABC and its parent Disney that Kimmel's comments could violate obligations tied to broadcast licensing. He said the network must act, that otherwise there might be additional work for the FCC ahead. He basically framed it as, you either regulate yourselves or the government may step in. That's significant because broadcast networks operate under licenses that require them to serve the public interest. Momentarily after Carr's comments, some ABC affiliates, notably Nexstar, which owns many local TV stations, said they were pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live from their ABC channel lineups for the foreseeable future or indefinitely. Nexstar explicitly said Kimmel's remarks were offensive and insensitive, not in line with what they believe the communities they serve expect. ABC then announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live would be preempted indefinitely. That means it's yanked off the air with no announced return date. ABC did not clearly state that Carr's threats were the reason in their official statement, but the timing makes the connection hard to deny. Free speech and chilling effect. If a regulatory body threatens consequences because of a media personality's speech, even comedic political speech, that may chill others. Media critics warn this could set a dangerous precedent. Regulatory power. The FCC has real enforcement power over broadcast licenses. That gives the chair significant leverage. Even the possibility of losing or having conditional licenses can push networks into self-censorship. Political polarization and affiliates' role. Local stations are part of the ecosystem. When they refuse to air content, even if the network wants to, the show dies in those markets. That gives affiliates indirect power, especially if regulatory or political pressure is involved. Precedent. Late-night hosts have often satirical or critical takes. Also, media arms parents like Disney, ABC, have other business dealings sensitive to FCC approvals, so they may be more cautious. Conservatives and Trump praised ABC's decision. Trump called it great news for America. Free speech advocates, including FCC Commissioner Ana Gomez. Others criticized the move as suppression of dissent rather than giving space for differing opinions. Some media analysts say this is a moment where broadcasters are being backed into corners. The threat of licensing or fines can force compliance even absent explicit legal violation. This looks like a pretty clear case of regulatory pressure being used, or at least threatened, to influence content. Whether or not legally permissible, morally, it's alarming if political speech or media satire is being limited because whoever holds regulatory power doesn't like the message. ABC's decision to pull the show indefinitely rather than defend it suggests they're highly risk-averse, possibly because Disney needs good standing with federal regulators for other projects. So corporate self-preservation might be dominating principle over protecting free expression. We're now in a world where if you make a pointed political joke or commentary on TV and upset the wrong people, not just in politics, but in regulatory bodies, you risk being silenced in a quasi-legal way. Will Kimmel get reinstated? If so, under what conditions? Will there be any negotiated apology or self-censorship? Will any legal challenge emerge? Or will ABC affiliates push back legally or via public opinion? Will the FCC follow through with enforcement, fines, license revocations, etc.? If so, what precedent does that set for other hosts' networks? How will this affect future commentary on controversial political matters by late night, news satire, etc.? Will people start pulling punches? If you liked this deep dive, hit like, share, subscribe, follow me on socials.